Welcome to Terror in Tandem's Octerrorfest. All month long, we will be celebrating the horrifying delights of the spookiest month of October. Prepare yourself for the episodes that frighten and delighten your spine as we chill you to the bone. You can find us on YouTube at Terror in Tandem, on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you will always find our latest episode on our website, terrorintandem.com.
Happy Halloween.
From beyond. Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. We're just
live in studio.
Hours away.
This is our
and we'll be counting down
of the 2025 Octerrorfest for Terror in Tandem.
It seems like it just started like 30 days ago.
Well, we hope we jam-packed your ears full of all of the delights of the season.
We checked out a new spooky town. We gave you some costume ideas, and we just provided the unceasingly entertaining quality
access
programming that you have come to violently demand from us.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it, and we're going to close this out with one of my co-host's favorite, occult horror. So we're going to talk about the subgenre of the occult.
The occult!
Which, speaking of which...
which is which?
This kind of involves witchcraft, Satanism, conjuring rituals. A lot of the themes that are in these types of films or books are, supernatural, demons, curses, ancient tomes, and texts.
Yeah, like there are. This was tough for me at first because it's one of those terms that it's broad. It could mean a couple of different things.
Listen, it crosses over a lot of things that we talk about a lot. And
I will say that each of us, I think, encountered that and honed our focus so that your sort of examples and focus is on a specific area and mine is as well. They're different areas, but the occult, it's a broad term. Like it can mean anything from witchcraft to, the devil himself.
Yeah. And think about our devil episodes. Did we do a devil episode?
I think we did The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah. And
which one did we win all those
episodes?
awards for? Oh, gosh, so hard to remember.
Check the possession episodes out.
Yeah, but it comes up. But we thought we'd dedicate a special episode to what Laura and I, in our minds, where they go to when we hear the word occultism or occult.
Yep. And I would say, as evidenced by the most recent film that we saw in this genre, which is Weapons. That's a good
absolutely
example.
Yeah, but like what I found in this is that it certainly, where Laura and I each went in our default kind of definition of the occult, heavily had to do with our childhood fears, the way we were brought up, what scared us early on in life, because that's what we associated with the occult, I think.
I would
At least that's
say
what I did. That's what I did.
The examples that I'm going to present are my cinematic experiences of the earliest type of occult.
Mine go back to the very first thing that ever scared me.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
But not in, I'm not actually scared of these things.
Me neither.
You want to talk a little bit more about characteristics of the occult?
I can only go back throughout history to come up with some definitions, because I feel like occultism has some qualities that are more or less universal, but on the other hand, so much of it I do think is up for interpretation. Now, where I go with the occult and looking throughout history is symbolism. Symbols play a huge part. Sigils, conjuring rites, Enochian script, Latin, language and symbols really play into occultism. Also texts in terms of forbidden books, hidden texts, scrolls, spells, grimoires, demonologies, things like that. Like that really comes up. Books and writing having power. They also, in my opinion, heavily connected with curses.
Yes.
They commonly carry terrible consequences for fucking around with them and dabbling.
And
big theme across
misinterpretations of what you're actually doing, not understanding, like the novice aspect of it, when you are like, oh, I'm gonna read this ancient text, but you don't quite understand the Latin implications of what you're reading.
Excellent point. I think that is a huge part of it as well, is that when you're dealing with occultism, you're dealing with either knowledge that has been lost to time or divine knowledge, and we only have like snippets of it or a broken interpretation of it, right? So I mentioned Enochian script, which is commonly known as like angelic script. It's the writing of heaven. So, that kind of thing where getting some of it wrong in a ritual carries horrific consequences. These aren't really things. The other element of occultism is it's dangerous. We are not meant to do these things. We're not meant to breach the barriers that these things help us breach. We're not meant to learn the things that we learn through the use of the occult, because we are these worlds, the spirit world, the hell, they have boundaries between themselves and our world. And what occultism does in the end, whatever its material goal is, it is to breach those barriers.
And there's a few different aspects of the approach to the occult. Is the unwitting participant.
Well, that's more like a trope to like occult movies, like the unwitting participant. Yeah.
Or the active participant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
because if you think about Suspiria, there are both elements to that, where it's active participation in these rituals and passive, participant against their knowledge.
I retract my statement. Editor, can we take that out to make me look smarter? Thank you. I agree with you, because another part of occultism is followers, gathering minions to do all your weird shit, and that means forming a cult. And in a cult, you often have unwitting participants. There's a lot of Svengali sort of mind control. There's masterminding people. Aleister Crowley, is a very famous real-life figure who dabbled in occultism, but he was really just throwing parties for aristocrats. That's another thing, is often in occultism, there can be, in some forms, there's a classist part of it, where it's like rich secret societies trying to conjure the devil for promises of wealth.
Yeah.
Or on the other end of it, on the peasantry level, you have witches, trying to keep villages alive with a harvest through sacrifice and ritual. Anyway.
Which, speaking of Halloween, there are a lot of practices that are actually part of the occult that 100%. You might not know about, which pumpkin carving, dressing, costumes.
Do you remember our now classic Samhain episode?
Yes.
We talked all about that, the offerings you leave, intermingling with the spirits, because on that night, the veil is the thinnest. Yeah, exactly. The barriers. So occultism, the goal is to breach those barriers, whether through communication, through conjuring,
ritual, through blood sacrifice,
actual traveling. It's all very dangerous because it's not supposed to happen. That's why you have a barrier in the first place. It's to keep one side or both of them away from each other.
Yep.
Now, the reason I brought up the things I did is because whether you're watching something like The Medium from Thailand and South Korea, or The Wailing from South Korea, or you're watching Rosemary's Baby or something like that, it has the same. There are symbols, there are followers, there are secret texts, there is forgotten knowledge, there is a breaching between barriers. Those things are universal. In some of Joko Anwar's Indonesian films, which are usually told from an Asian Islamic point of view, same thing. Weird scrolls you find in the body with like writing on it, symbols, writing, secret knowledge, ancient texts, good versus evil. It's like those, I think, are the universal stuff. Now, that being said, you and I did go each to specific aspects of the occult because of its universality and its openness to interpretation. I thought it was important that we just focus on a small part.
And we went on our own. So
we did.
Now we're going to come and tell you what they are. So let's jump right in.
Reporting back from our separate field trips, because like any healthy couple, we take separate vacations.
Oh, no, we don't.
No, we don't. I would hate that, honestly. I would just be like calling you all the time like, hey, I'm here. I wish you were. This sucks. Anyway.
I'm going to jump in with my first, which is Rosemary's Baby.
I'm
not going to talk too much about this
of
because
Rosemary.
We've talked about it before. From
What have you done with his
1968, starring Mia Farrow, Ruth Gordon, and John Cassavetes.
Ooh, side note, famous director of his own and father of director Nick Cassavetes of The Notebook. Perhaps an even more cursed movie.
And this is directed by Roman Polanski. And I want to talk specifically about the dream sequence, Rosemary's dream sequence. So this is when she's actually impregnated by Satan.
Ooh, yeah.
In a ritual ceremony.
It's rough.
And there's chanting, there's like weird nudity, there's
drugs involved.
Lots of Catholicism going on. And this,
I don't know what church you went to, but...
I will say Roman Polanski's Apartment trilogy, which Rosemary's Baby is the second installment.
Yeah, I believe the first was Repulsion.
And then the third is The Tenant.
Yeah.
Dreams are super important and critical to that. So I think this is really well executed in the way that Rosemary is an unwitting participant in these rituals.
Well, she's like she's a rape victim.
And the dream sequence is a real kind of dream state that we all are part of. It's almost as if we're part of the ritual as well.
Yeah, that's very Polanski, that first person point of view camera.
It also kind of foreshadows this decline of mental stability, because you don't quite know what's real and what happened. Did I dream it? Did it really happen?
When you see those claws too.
Well, yeah, she's going from like one setting to the next, and she's in bed, she's floating on a sea, on a raft. She's strapped down in like a dungeon chamber.
The music's really weird.
Yeah.
Also,
and we see the apartment
camera,
elevator.
The camera effect is that sort of wavy, slightly out of focus dream thing.
Because like we are experiencing it too.
It feels like you are like near blackout drunk. Like everything is spinning.
Like we're not on the floor, but we're in the crowd of the room where the ritual is taking place.
It's really uncomfortable.
We see the apartment elevator, that guy, you know, that is like on the ship. So it's like everybody's involved. Guy's fingernails are like actually Satan's fingernails.
Oh yeah.
So it all morphs into.
She has scratches on her back.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, oh, I must have forgotten to, because he admits, he's like, yeah, I raped you while you were asleep.
She's like trying to cover her body, so she's sort of aware that this is happening.
And that's amazing that his explanation for it is, oh, while you were asleep, I had sex with you, and I scratched up your back because I got really into it.
Also, her torso has all those symbols on them. We don't really see them, but we do see the yellow eyes. We see the claw. We see the reptilian back of the devil. Yeah. That's really scary. And
that's how I knew it was him.
All of the people in the building are like naked around her, and we hear that chanting, but we don't know it's everybody yet.
In some of my examples too, the cult leader, the cultists all taking their clothes off. Because sex and like fulfillment of the flesh is a big part of Satanism. So
this was like a collective effort on the people that lived in the apartment to try to get the, devil incarnate to come through
their
this
first
innocent,
one failed.
Right?
The girl from the beginning of the movie,
woman.
Kitty, I think her name was. Yeah. She killed herself because she knew what was going on.
And so,
played by Julia Garner in that weird prequel series,
right? But what happened as a result, like an accidental outcome of this actual impregnation scene, the influence it had on the satanic panic in the 80s was kind of interesting. It basically became something that, oh, well, look at this director in New York City is making this film representing all of these, rich people or, collective.
Oh, yeah, the cabals.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. But I just wanted to talk about that scene as a direct representation of an unwitting participant in an occult ritual that the only desire is to have the devil's baby.
Yeah. And all she wanted to do was
be asleep.
She was sleeping.
Yeah.
That's it.
Then she cuts her hair in one of the most iconic haircuts of all time.
The pixie cut from Rosemary's Baby. That's the part I remember.
The best part that came out of them.
The first time I saw the movie, the way she gets treated after she cuts her hair, I was like, oh my God, fuck all of you. She looks amazing.
Yeah. Well,
I get it's the 60s. And exactly. Nice example.
Thanks. What's your example?
Well, you know what? I might as well stay on theme here with, I did not know you were going to do Rosemary's Baby when I came up with mine. So I'm going to talk about another Roman Polanski movie.
Wow. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
I know. Ugh. Anyway,
we
look.
recognize he's a creep.
Yeah,
and we do not condone or endorse his behaviors off behind the camera.
Or just at all.
Yeah.
Ever. So anyway,
I appreciate his cinematic.
He's an amazing filmmaker.
But behind the outside of that, making movies, the lens aspect, I don't condone or endorse his behavior.
No, he's a piece of shit.
Yes.
Fuck you, Roman Polanski. Anyway, here's your movie.
We'll talk about the art.
The Ninth Gate is a 1999 movie that
It's filled with red flag people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Be prepared for many, many times where we're going to say,
now,
we don't condone his behavior.
I remember when this movie came out.
The only person it doesn't have is Armie Hammer.
Because he was too young. So now this movie came out in 1999. It's directed by Roman Polanski, who also co-wrote the script, but it's based on the 1993 novel The Club du Mât by Arturo Pérez Reverte. Now, I saw this movie when it came out, and I was very excited because at the time I was a teenager. I was really into horror. This is a movie about an occult rare book dealer who is chasing the devil, and it also, the book itself, I read the book before I watched the movie. The book has an entire subplot about the works of Alexandre Dumas, who I was also obsessed with at the time. Now the movie has none of the Dumas stuff, so I'm not going to get into that. The movie basically took a book that had two major plots and just threw one of them out and made it into more of a straight thriller, kind of noirish horror movie. Now, The Ninth Gate is a real cavalcade of creeps. It stars Johnny Depp and Frank Langella, who are both really great in this movie. It also stars Lena Olin, who is fucking feral.
Listen, Lena Olin is awesome.
She is so good. She's not in a lot of this movie, but she is a savage beast, and I'll get to that. And yes, I agree. Lena
Sidney
Olin,
Bristow's mother,
real life wife of Lasse Hallström.
Oh,
forever. Yeah. So anyway, it also stars.
What's her relationship to Ken Olin?
Don't know.
Okay, maybe none.
Anyway, Emmanuelle Seigner. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She plays a big role, French actress, and model, and she is amazing in this movie. So, Johnny Depp. Now, remember, this is 1999 Johnny Depp, so he is still doing just fine. Hasn't done Pirates of the Caribbean yet, so he's like a well-known, popular actor, but he's not like a billion-dollar franchise driver. So he plays Dean Corso in this movie, and he is an unscrupulous rare books collector. He like he assesses books from rich people whose parents died, and like they're selling off their books. In the first scene, he's ripping off a guy who's like had a stroke in a wheelchair, and he can't communicate, but he's watching his like legacy being stolen from him. He's very unscrupulous. He's a shit, but he's not like evil. He's just kind of a dirtbag, but also brilliant and charming because he has to know what like an authentic first edition Don Quixote Cervantes looks like.
Right.
So he's hired by Frank Langella's character, Boris Balkan, who is an academic and a scary creep who is very wealthy and really, really into the devil. Now, he hires Dean to authenticate his copy of the rarest of rare books, the Book of the Nine Gates. And there are only 3 copies in existence. And Corso says he thinks the one he has is not the real copy, but he won't specify why. And Dean Corso makes it like an offhanded joke of like, what's the matter? You tried to summon the devil and it didn't work. And basically, yeah, that is what happened. So anyway, this sends Dean on a worldwide sort of, he goes to Portugal. He meets these twin bookbinders played by the same actor. He meets all these strange, it's sort of like very Dante-esque in that he embarks upon a strange journey. He meets weird people. He meets Lena Olin, who is the much younger wife of the owner of the second copy of the book, or the copy of the book that Frank Langella now owns. Anyway, Satan's into it. Emmanuel Senior is this strange woman only referred to as the girl. Mm-hmm. She sort of stalks him. She's beautiful and she's strange and enigmatic, and she sort of follows him. He keeps running into her, and then she ends up like defending him and basically not intervening. She intervenes a little bit, but she's sort of like guiding him on his way. Like you get the sense like she just wants Dean to do what he does and to make sure that happens. Like when she intervenes, it's just to stop other people from stopping him. So, anyway, and she has the actor plays the role with this slight smirk, this sort of like, and a lazy look in her eyes of like, utter confidence and just a chaos agent. She just wants to see what happens. It's a really, really excellent performance. Now, this movie is wild. Roman Polanski makes some really weird choices. It's kind of strange. I adore this movie because it's a slow burn. It's about books. It's about the devil. Mm-hmm. And essentially what Dean Corso comes to understand is that the 9 lithographs in these copies, well, they're spread, the authentic ones are spread out across all 3 surviving copies. By the way, the guy who wrote this book claimed to have collaborated with Lucifer in the writing and was burned at the stake, along with all but 3 copies. Now, he discovers that the lithographs, there are 3 authentic ones in each version of the book, so it's like you got to put them all together. And this movie is filled with that old-timey Catholicism, cathedrals, dusty, roads in Mediterranean villages, weird old people, and then suddenly you go back and it's like, who? No one has ever owned this store. Like that kind of stuff. He almost gets killed by like falling scaffolding. So there's that classic omen of like, now this movie is sort of a B movie. It's a little weird and a little like goofy at times, I would say.
Yep.
But it's really its own thing. It's an intellectual, slightly goofy, but very stylish horror movie that has all the medieval Dante Catholic hell style classics. It's got the hidden society, the secret societies, the rich people, the symbols, the books, the texts, the forbidden rituals, all that good stuff. I don't know if a lot of people have seen this one. I do really recommend it. It's not like pulse pounding or anything, but it is so watchable. And getting back to Lena Olin, she plays 2 roles in this movie. And I mean, she plays a single part, right? She's one person. But this woman, at the drop of a hat, goes from like sex pot succubus monster to raging, screaming violence. Wow. Like in these scenes, she is either like the most seductive MILF ever, really laying it on thick, or she's vaulting across the room to jump on you, screaming and like scratch her eyes out. And it's her. She's wild. She is absolutely fucking wild to watch in this movie. It's so rad. She's not in a lot, like I said, but damn, it's great. It's
nuts.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I really, really like it. But like, it's a great movie that is objectively not a great movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Those are the best.
But the ending is super cool. It's real satisfying. And for anybody who ever had to sit through Sunday school, you'll understand everything that's happening.
Awesome.
The Ninth Gate. And back at you, co-host.
Oh, that's live?
Yeah, we
I thought we were listening back.
Didn't you see the
No,
red light blinking?
No, I didn't. Anyway, my next example is The Black Coat's Daughter, 2015.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what? That's hilarious. I'm going to get to why that's hilarious.
Okay.
In my example.
Do not listen to this if you haven't seen it and are interested, because I am going to be spoiling.
And there's some twists.
Yeah.
This movie rules.
It's directorial debut of Oz Perkins.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you stupid jerk. It is.
Oh. Asked and answered.
And it's starring Kiernan Shipka, who appears in his movies.
Yeah, she does. She does.
From time to time.
She's like real young in this one.
Her first project after Mad Men. She
Very
was 16.
good actor. Yeah,
she's great. Lucy Boynton and Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts, who I am convinced is like legit crazy in real life. So whenever I see her in roles like this, I'm like, yeah, man, go
well
for
placed.
It. No, she's like the American. I like when a scream queen is just the right amount of fun crazy in real life, like Beatrice Dahl.
Yeah,
just nice. That's cool. Respect.
Broad strokes. This is about two Catholic school girls who are left behind on winter break at their boarding school. Yeah. Freshman Kat, played by Kiernan Shipka, has a vision of her parents' death in a car crash on their way to pick her up for school's winter break. And Rose, played by Lucy Boynton, is an older student. I think she's like a sophomore or junior. Thinks she's pregnant and arranges for her parents to pick her up on the wrong day, so she can tell her boyfriend about the pregnancy. So anyway, these two are kind of stranded with the nuns, and it becomes increasingly more wintry, more isolated, more desolate. While they're waiting, Kat starts to get and make phone calls, not to her parents though. She's got a new friend. And the new friend is basically demanding murderous sacrifices. So Kat starts to do this bidding. Oh,
listen, side note, when I'm starting to get to know somebody in those early stages of friendship, that's what I'm asking for.
She eventually kills Rose. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, spoilers abound.
Puts their heads in this furnace where
does.
She says, "Hail Satan."
Oz Perkins really just knows how to nail these.
Damn. What's interesting though, in this other subplot, it's like third, like piece of the puzzle. This third girl, Emma Roberts, Joan. We see her is broken out of an asylum. She tries to get back to the campus. She pulls over a couple of people driving. And she kills them. Well,
before that point, you're kind of like watching a lot through her perspective. So you don't know she's a villain until she does that. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yep.
So I guess you're
desperate to get back to this school.
Yes.
So puts the heads in the furnace.
Yeah, she does.
And then who leaves the school? Kiernan Shipka. So who are those parents? Rose's parents. 9 years into the future. This is like a real weird timeline jump.
Yeah.
And we kind of see this thing unfold. You can put together the pieces of what happens in between these two storylines, and it all kind of unfolds in the third act.
An amazing twist.
I just needed to say, because this is again, unwitting participant that is immediately possessed, basically what happens is Kat has always been possessed from that initial phone call, taking advantage of her kind of vulnerability. She's a little odd duck anyway. And, the Satan gets her to kill people for him and for the sacrifice to have like this presence on Earth. And Rose really has no idea what's going on this whole time. She never figures it out until she does figure it out.
It's
a great film. It's perfect for this type of time of year.
I agree. Especially it's a snowy movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is Osgood Perkins is an impeccable filmmaker. He makes beautiful feasts that, I mean, with the exception of The Monkey, which is a complete bananas detour for him.
A delight.
It's awesome, but it's
based on
it's a very
source
different
material. So
very different
this
movie.
isn't source material.
His original works are just, I don't, there's a sumptuousness to them. You feel like truly satisfied by them.
But
at
also
least I do.
Disgusted. He really gets
they're capital H horror movies.
Yeah.
They really invoke uncomfortable and scary, dreadful feelings in you. But his style, his attention to detail, and this is a personal thing for me, but he grew up, I think, quite Catholic, and his knowledge of Catholicism and his aesthetic really appeals to me because I also grew up quite Catholic, and I have a lot of knowledge, esoteric and otherwise. And I think he, at least from my opinion, his interpretation is quite authentic.
But it's interesting too because his cinematography choices, you're going to talk about one which is very much winter based.
It really is. Yeah.
So I think kind of this darkness coming earlier, this movement from Halloween into like the Catholic high holy days of, Christmas and things like that.
All Saints Day is coming up, and then All Souls Day right after it.
So I think that's kind of the time, like you said, the veil is thinner, but like also I think people maybe feel a little more vulnerable.
Yeah, and also the Catholics who go to church twice a year are about to go for their 1 out of 2 times. So,
but check out Black Coat's Daughter. It's definitely a real great film.
It's so good.
Directorial debut.
Crushed it.
Great.
There's a lot of confidence behind this filmmaking, and he is famously the son of Anthony Perkins. So this is a guy that he
grew up around,
and he started out as Legally Blonde. Started out as an actor, so. He does have, I think, experience that helps with that, but the confidence behind his debut film is just, it's something that you only encounter very rarely, and it's like, I remember watching The Black Coat's Daughter, and I was like, oh yeah, so whatever this guy does, I'm watching, and he's only gotten better.
Well, let's take a break, and we can come back with the full name change and the last original effort.
Boop.
Suffering. Such sublime ecstasy. Unless, of course, you've got a full slate of souls to tear apart and a pounding migraine. Sure makes shining creepy lights and throwing chain hooks at people more of a chore than the undying eruption of sensation it should be. Well, now you can get back to the things you love, like tearing the flesh off the innocent, with Pinhead's Exquisite Migraine Tonic. Each ampule of Pinhead's Exquisite Migraine Tonic comes with a forbidden elixir distilled from the tears of past thrill-seekers who found your weird puzzle box and decided, this seems like a safe thing to fuck with. As the Hell Priest says, tears are a waste of good suffering. Unless they're in my patented tonic. So rattle those chains and flare the cold light of damnation, and make sure the only aches you have are the ones you're giving others. Pinhead's Exquisite Migraine Tonic. For those days when it feels like you've got 100 spikes rammed through your skull. This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. We cannot stress this enough. Do not solve weird centuries-old puzzle boxes that are left conveniently in your path at your lowest point in life.
Oh, gosh, we conjured that wonderful product. And so should you, with money, because it's real, though we don't endorse it.
What's your next?
I'm very focused over here. I'm going to go along the same line, which is the devil, and all that. And we're going to keep it together. You went RP and I went with RP, so you went with OP and I'm down with OP. Another Osgood Perkins.
Yeah, I mean, we did not plan this.
We did not. We really didn't. We didn't.
Annoying. Probably much more annoying than we think it is.
How dare you? And how dare all of you? So, I forgive you. I can't stay mad at you guys. I want to talk about Long Legs, 2024 horror movie. Another one written and directed by Osgood Perkins, and this one,
it's his latest. It's his most recent original.
Yes. Although
we already talked about
the Keeper is coming up, and
yeah,
very much two.
But it's not out yet.
Perkins movies in a year.
Our November.
I know, but I'm saying two in a year. Listen. This is what happens when you give a talented filmmaker like a financial stability. He has this great contract with Neon. He can make movies. He's not always constantly hustling to get things financed. You know. Anyway,
nice relationship.
It's what if we did that with more people? So this film it stars the beloved Micah Monroe, Blair Underwood, who is awesome, and it's always great to see him.
And your favorite,
Alicia Witt playing a real role of a lifetime in my opinion. I think she's fantastic, and yes, my favorite, Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage.
But this is really well done, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, you just need to set the man up with the right combination of script and stimulants, and he will give you what you have never even knew you wanted until you see it, and then you're like, how did I live without that? So this movie, it's a wonderful period piece set in the 90s, and just the vibe of it is so authentic, and I really I liked that. So Micah Monroe is she's a young FBI agent early on in her career, and she's also a bit of a psychic. She has a big break when she intuits the home of a serial killer and catches him after her partner is shot dead. So Blair Underwood is her superior. He brings her on to the Long Legs case.
Yeah.
Now, Long Legs is a killer no one has caught, and for 30 years he has been murdering families. Now, more specifically, he has been sending notes to families, and then the father of that family, or the head of it, murders everyone and themselves. 10 families so far.
Because of this slow psychological inception.
And no one knows why, and no one knows what's happening. The only common thread are these notes that are written in code and signed Long Legs. Now, using her psychic abilities and whatnot, listen, we're spoiling everything here. She catches up with Long Legs, and the whole thing is, well, there's a lot more going on there. Long Legs is a devoted servant of Satan. Not like a part of it, but the devil himself. So, Longlegs visited a young Micah Monroe.
Yeah, here's the Osgood Perkins kind of wrap
the dual
around
timeline. Yeah,
connect.
Now her name is Lee Harker.
This is not done by accident.
Well, the movie begins.
She's not placed there by accident.
The movie begins with a very creepy intro of a young girl being approached by Longlegs. It's very scary. The use of music and sound in this movie is phenomenal.
And again,
sound
the cinematography.
Cues. The cinematography. Now, in the flashback scenes, it's all done in a box style, kind of like old-timey photograph filter. So you look like you're watching sort of a Super 8 from long ago. Now, Kiernan Shipka's in this one too, playing one of Longlegs' victims/devotees. But Longlegs is a master craftsman who has been building lifelike dolls and putting a Satan sphere, so to speak, in their heads that corrupts the parents to killing everyone. And he's done this 10 times. And at the beginning, like I said, this scary film, you learn out the twist is the little girl in the beginning of the movie, that was Micah Monroe. Mm-hmm. And Alicia Witt, who plays her mother, has been this entire time Longlegs' accomplice.
Yeah.
The deal that Longlegs made was, I'll spare your daughter, but you have to deliver these dolls and make sure that these families kill each other because it's a long, long, thing, right? Now, in the end, you find out that Micah Monroe's intuition has come from the devil, and she is freed from this.
Not done by accident.
No, but she does end up taking a girl and leaving a doll behind, so now she's got basically a young version of herself that she has to take care of. So who knows how that's going to go.
But at what cost?
This movie is filled with symbolism. There's tons and tons. I mean, he writes in this weird kind of circular cipher that she decodes. There biblical references to the book of Revelation. And side note, one of my favorite scenes of this movie, of most movies, is I have a real pet peeve about this. An FBI agent refers to it as the book of Revelations, and that is how it is usually referred.
It comes up a lot in movies.
I hate it so much. And Micah Monroe's character corrects her and says it's the book of Revelation, which is true. It is the book of the Revelation of St. John. He saw a lot of stuff when he was on mushrooms, but the only revelation was the apocalypse. That is the revelation of St. John, is the fucking apocalypse. So I just can't stand it when people get that wrong. It's like, I get it. There are bigger problems in the world, but this is my thing. So she corrects her in the movie. I think when we saw it in the theater, I might have cheered. So this movie's filled with that old-timey Catholicism, but the influence of Satan, the occult rituals that are practiced, the long term, the long game. In the end,
the complete lifelong dedication to Satan too.
Well, and also the dedication to Lee Harker, to Micah Monroe.
Yeah.
Now, in the end, you're kind of left to wonder why.
Well, is this deal broken now? Is the deal that her mother made?
Yes.
Broken
Is it broken?
Yeah.
The deal was to allow her to grow up, and she has. And now the mother's dead, and all this is stopped, but it started over with Ruby. Now, Ruby's doll does not get destroyed. That just gets left behind. So something is still up with Ruby, but having a doll out there doesn't make you evil. It just makes you susceptible. Anyway, my true love for this movie is I have mentioned before, I grew up very, very Catholic, and I've studied a lot of theology. I love theology. I love Catholic theology. I'm not religious. I'm not a believer. I am an atheist. But I find it all fascinating, and it's a wonderful window into, human behavior. This movie, the way that I view this is, you have to ask yourself, why would the devil, of all things, be so fixated on one random girl for her entire life? There's nothing particularly special about Lee Harker. She's only has this intuition because the devil gave it to her. Mm-hmm. And my answer to that is the perfect explanation. That's what the devil is. That's the perfect behavior for the devil. The devil of the Bible and of the Catholic Church has one goal, and it's to prove to God that his love for mankind is misplaced, that we are disgusting, that we are filth, that we are pigs not worthy of his love, that it's all about jealousy. So why else? I mean, if you consider that Satan is extremely powerful, not as powerful as God, but extremely powerful, immortal, has been alive for countless thousands and thousands of years, predates humanity, why wouldn't he spend, 20-something years fucking with a person? Yeah. It sounds like the exact kind of thing a bored, despotic king of hell would do when he is nothing but petty and full of, hatred for humanity. So this movie is a really accurate depiction of the way I learned about the devil, is that he hates mankind and wants to prove to God that we are the worst. Like when Jesus was out in the devil for 40 days, he was tempted by the devil out in the desert. Excuse me, out in the desert for 40 days during Lent.
It's the book of the desert.
The devil tempted him, with, I can end your pain. I can make this better. Come on. And it was the devil's goal is not to force mankind to betray God or to show our quote-unquote true colors. It's to convince us to do it ourselves. It's to push a little here, nudge a little there, maybe make something accessible, maybe speak to our darker selves and have us corrupt ourselves. That's
what's
the true
interesting
victory.
about this movie too is that it's just this kind of base level darkness, and it's not being pushed very hard.
No,
This button.
because this isn't like a world-ending plot. He's just killing families and fucking with Alicia Witt. Now, it remains to be seen whether Micah Monroe's character ultimately becomes corrupted. Doesn't look like it. She seems pretty cool, and she's also free from the influence. But mission accomplished regarding Alicia Witt. Her mom is thoroughly corrupted.
Yeah.
At the beginning, you see her like covered in blood and traumatized and crying and fucked up. And I don't know, after a few families down, it gets pretty easy for her to the point where she's like yelling, "Hail Satan."
Yeah, she's kind of a messenger of the devil.
And she falls. She falls
Yeah.
terribly from grace. And that is Satan's victory is, I took this good woman who just wanted to protect her daughter and I made her into a monster. Actually, I had her make herself into a monster.
Well, I made a deal.
Yeah, I made a deal and she agreed
had
to
no
it.
choice.
So it's Longlegs. Look, on a macro level, it is just a solid, scary, creepy, well done, awesome horror movie. Nicolas Cage is top notch, fucking scary. But on a more intimate, personal level, it is one of the greatest depictions of the Catholic version of Satan, of that.
Like Satan's handiwork.
Yes, it rivaled only, I would say, by The Exorcist.
Yeah, Satan's workshop.
Longlegs 2024.
Well, I'm going to take a left turn here from the devil.
The
and
left-hand path.
go just to breaking the veil and seeing what you can get to come through. But
Maybe
I'm going
it's
to
the devil.
start telling you about a little creation called the Ouija board. So Charles Kennard moved to Maryland in the late 1880s.
Quite a canard.
He developed a secret bone mix for fertilizer.
Okay.
Yep. You heard that. And then it had a lot of success, and his Chestertown plant went into auction because there was like drought and competition and debt. Anyway, he met a Prussian immigrant named E.C. Reich, who had an office next to Kennard, and they decided to go into business together. Now, what's interesting about...
It sounds like the setup to a joke Mr. Burns would tell.
What's interesting about Reich is that he was a furniture maker turned coffin maker turned undertaker.
I'd say a lot was interesting about this guy.
So in 1886... during this time where they kind of collaborated, they started to see these newspaper reports about a talking board phenomenon that was sweeping through Ohio. So Kennard and Reich decided to make a dozen of their own talking boards. And then was born the Kennard Novelty Company, which incorporated the day before Halloween and began manufacturing Ouija boards. And the name Ouija comes from the board itself, obviously, but we were told that a locket worn by the sister-in-law of their financier had a necklace that said Ouija on it, and that's why they named it Ouija, but it also means good luck.
Cool.
So eventually they sold it to Parker Brothers, and they moved it to the base of operations in Salem, Mass. Did you know Parker Brothers' base of operations was in Salem, Mass in the 60s?
I did not.
So in 1967, it was moved there, and they sold 2 million boards that year.
Oh, yeah.
Norman Rockwell actually painted a suitor and a young woman playing Ouija board on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post in 1920.
I mean, this really echoes like the Victorian practice of, you know,
Like seance.
throwing seance parties. Exactly. And it was just a thing that usually, like, Hollywood likes to depict it as authentic, but it was drunk
It's
rich
a game.
people.
It's a parlor game.
It was a parlor game. Yeah.
But The
Having fun.
Exorcist, because Reagan explains that how she used the family's Ouija board
and
to ask
in comes
questions to
Captain Howdy.
So
Captain
that was
Howdy,
kind
that
of,
isn't very nice.
That was the critical Ouija demon connector.
Yep.
So they're sometimes called spirit boards. Anyway.
Which, just quick pause here.
Yeah.
if it's mass manufactured for decades by Parker Brothers, you can't open a gate to hell with it. Okay?
Well, there are rules that go along with utilizing this, which I'm going to talk about a couple of movies that sometimes know the rules and ignore them, or don't read the rules, and so they can't ignore what they don't know. But when the rules are ignored, problems happen.
Like, you remember that time I bought a Malibu Barbie dream house and I didn't follow the instructions to construct it, and I accidentally awoke Cthulhu from sleeping
I
Lilia?
know. So anyway, my first experience with all of this was with the film 1986's Witchboard.
What? Oh, just recently remade, I think.
I did not watch that.
We did not watch that.
Directed by Kevin Tenney, starring Todd Allen, Tawny Katane, heavy metal video fame.
I extremely know who that is.
And
I am of a certain age and disposition.
And Stephen Nichols, who you will know him because he had just started to become a major soap star on Days of Our Lives, and he was on Days of Our Lives from 1985 till 2025. And he also went to General Hospital from 1996 to 2003. He's a big soap man.
Who did he play?
Oh, Patch.
Yeah. Why do you think they called him that?
He had a patch over his eye.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
So he's that guy with the eye patch that everyone thinks of when you think of soap operas.
Days
It's
of Our
like,
Lives.
oh, it's a guy with an eye patch.
Yeah.
That's this guy, everybody.
Yeah.
So when someone's like soap opera, you're like, oh, it's probably a guy with an eye patch, right?
But
That's him.
Patchless Steven is in
From Witchboard.
He plays
Which we all know him
Brandon, and he brings a Ouija board to a party, a very 80s party, and tries to contact David, a 10-year-old who he's communed with in the past. But because...
First red flag right there.
I know.
What are you talking to 10-year-olds for?
His former best friend, Jim, is being a jerk. He stole the girl of his dreams. That's Tawny Katane, and is now living with her. And
That's
so
the girl of a lot of 80s
spirit
kids'
of
dreams.
David gets really angry and slashes Jim's tires.
What?
Goes to Jim's construction site and tries to kill him, but ends up killing another worker.
David.
And then Linda breaking one major rule of Ouija, which is you cannot use this alone. You are not supposed to use the Ouija board alone.
No, you're not. You have to have two hands on that, and don't put any pressure down.
She tries to contact David again, but instead she conjures Malfader, who's a demon. And then she falls under what they call progressive entrapment, which is where the spirit changes and begins to terrorize the person to diminish them so much that possession can take place. Which I think
That's
is
a
interesting.
common theme. I'm going to be getting into that.
So what happens in this film is just, obviously Jim comes and tries to figure that out. The friendship between Jim and Brandon kind of rekindles, but it doesn't end well for Brandon.
But David has something to say about all that.
No, David is not involved.
No, it's
Malfader.
Yep.
And so
It's Malefactor.
Jim comes and just barely rescues his girlfriend, and they shoot the Ouija board full of bullet holes as it spins through the air.
The most American solution to problems.
And the end of the film is the cleaning ladies see a board in the garbage and say, I wonder if it still works.
Yeah. When you find a Ouija board in the trash riddled with fucking bullet holes, and you're
Here's the other thing.
this would make a good gift.
If you do use it to commune with a demon in most of these Ouija movies, it will form back together. If you try to burn it or break it, it will come back together.
Did this one not have the bullet holes in it anymore?
It didn't. That was the end of the movie, I said.
I like the idea of some tired cleaning lady pulling out a bullet riddled Ouija board with banana peels and coffee grinds on it and just being like, this would be nice for someone.
Well, the next movie I want to talk about is Ouija: Origin of Evil.
Yeah,
so
that's the
it's
good one.
The prequel.
That's the good one.
To the other Ouija movie, which is called Ouija.
Which stinks.
But I think they're interesting to watch if you watch this one first. Or you can watch the other one first. I don't care. You can watch it whatever way you want. But this one
just watch the prequel. And
this is the quality one, and I'll tell you what makes it quality 2 words.
3 words, everybody.
2 words.
Mike
Flanagan.
He's
the director of this film.
It is, the jump in quality between these two is fucking absurd.
It came out in 2016, and it doesn't matter who's in it.
What a great year.
So it's the plot is in 1967 in Los Angeles, a young widow named Alice has a spiritual medium business with her daughters, Lena and Doris, involved, and the girls get involved with some of the seance practices and kind of fake out people by making noises and doing things like that. Anyway, they decide to incorporate a Ouija board into their readings, and while trying out the board, Doris becomes possessed, and essentially starts to do the bidding of the demon that's possessing her. What happens next, and it leads kind of directly into the next movie, is that the planchette, the triangle,
with the magnifying glass,
and these are the only movies that I've ever seen make this planchette a device, like a looking glass.
Yeah.
When they look through the mirror or the glass of the planchette, they can see the demon in the room.
Yeah.
Which is really scary and really
cool.
interesting. So both Ouija movies
it's
do
like
this
the They
really
Live
well.
glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doris uses the board by herself to contact her father.
Which
that's essentially how
you're
she becomes
not
possessed.
supposed
We already
to
know
do,
that.
you guys.
Although they
get some fucking friends.
they get more business, but Doris really just starts to kill at will the demon that's possessing her anyway. So Lena, her sister, reluctantly sews Doris's mouth shut, and then they put the body in the basement of the house and wall it up. And while she's doing that, she actually like kills her mother. So Lena escapes, but her mother's dead and they think she's crazy. So they put her in a mental hospital. And then we see at the end of this film, they're like, your niece is here, which plays into the first movie really well because it's the same house where all this stuff took place, is where new things are happening. Anyway, Origin of Evil, it can be a standalone film and you can enjoy it really well. They use the Ouija board to get possessed unwittingly, but knowing that you're not supposed to use it alone. She's 9. What are you going to do?
It's PG-13 too, so you know you can watch it with I don't know. It's a little bit more inclusive.
Yeah.
I love Origin of Evil.
Yeah, it's great.
It's very good.
It's scary too. The planchette, when you see the demons, it's very scary because they're all gooey
it's sad.
And black.
I mean, you know, it's a
sad.
period piece,
Yeah.
And like it has to deal with like orphanages and stuff. like that.
And they're
it's
poor.
It's sad.
They really don't have money. They're just trying to make ends meet, and they're about to get evicted. It's a lot of
dusty.
layers.
It's a lot of dust.
Which plays well into the next film, and my last film is Veronica. It's 2017. It's a Spanish language movie. It's directed by Paco Plaza, who does the Rec movies.
Yeah, it's from Spain.
Yep.
He was part of a duo with Juan Balagueró. They did the Rec series, and they each do their own movies now. And Paco Plaza is great. He actually just did a sequence on the recent VHS Halloween.
And it stars Sandra Escancena, who is incredible.
Yeah.
It takes place in Madrid in 1991. It's based on some police reports of unexplained happenings at a scene of this, what looks like a suicide.
It is like loosely based on true stuff, right?
Yeah. So Veronica and her friends decide to go into the basement of their Catholic school and use the Ouija to contact their people they want to contact, or to put a spell on or put a curse on. But Veronica's the only one that brings any talisman or a connection, personal item. So she brings a picture of her father, and she basically unlocks something. She starts to see strange presence in the house and sees like these dark splotches all over the beds. She is advised by an older sister that basically says, you've brought a evil spirit in and you have to follow the rules. One of the rules of using Ouija is you must say goodbye before you sever connection, which she did not do. none of her friends did. So she tries to do it again, but it's already unlocked. And the interesting part, spoiler alert, of this film is that she was possessed from moment one. And so she's actually not running from a demon. She is the demon. And she's, carrying out all these horrible things that have been happening.
Yep.
Her siblings are being like tortured, and one is being choked, and one is being like hurt and harmed. It's always her. And she tries to kill herself to eradicate this demon from her, but the demon stops her. And this is when the police walk in and see kind of this hovering body in the presence of being choked. It's really extraordinary. It's so very scary.
It's a really scary movie. Yeah.
She didn't close the door, so you don't really know what even happens to this demon. It doesn't matter. It's just really this tragedy that happens because Veronica's been placed in this role of parent because her mom, losing her husband and has 4 kids to take care of, is basically working at this restaurant bar the whole time. And Veronica essentially becomes the parent and is so young. There is a scene where she gets her first period that is so, like, I don't know, scary, but like, I don't know. It's a really like interesting scene because the nun basically says her mother basically says you have to grow up, or the nun says it. I can't remember. Somebody says she has to grow up, and she's hearing this like chanting in the background, and like she's having this horrible dream about this demon. It's just wonderful and scary. Really, really scary.
Really scary.
Those are kind of the best of the Ouija board movies that I have come across. Witchboard is not a great movie, but it's classic.
Well, just real quick about Veronica, if you like that, there is a prequel directed by Paco Plaza, came out a few years later, called Hermana Muerte. It's about Sister Narcissa, who's in the movie.
Yeah, she's the blind nun.
The blind nun.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into her, and it is was written.
It means Sister Death.
Yeah, Sister Death. It was directed by Plaza. It's written by Jorge. Please excuse me, Guerrica. Anyway. A guy, Alex de Iglesias' longtime writer, did Day of the Beast and all of that. It's very cool. It's a really good prequel. Came out in 2023. They're both on Netflix.
Check out any of the Ouija movies. They all follow the same kind of prescription of these are the rules to use Ouija.
The Gremlins rules. Do these things and then they immediately get broken.
And they always get broken.
Always.
And this is voluntary use of a occult device. So this is people going willingly.
As they say, fool around and find out.
Correct.
So, yeah, I did have another example that I was going to go into, but in rewatching it and really taking another deep dive into it, I have pitched to my co-host that we end the episode here already at a good length, and we're going to go into my final example in its own full episode. That's right, folks. We're going to do a deep dive into Redacted.
You're not even going to tell anybody?
I don't know. I mean,
you're not even going to tell anybody what the occult in this film is?
Here are the hints. It is deeply occult. It was done in the 21st century. It follows my theme of the devil and whatnot, and hell, and that sort of Catholic interpretation.
Devil?
Yeah, maybe. And we are going. It's rife. I've watched it now 4 times. I'm probably going to watch it again with my co-host.
If we're doing a whole episode on
because it really might be a bonus-ode, but it needs its own thing.
Listen, everybody, this is news to me that it's going to be its whole episode, and that I have to rewatch it again.
You will like it. You will appreciate things about it. It is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece.
More uncomfortable the second time.
One more hint. You could pass it down from generation to generation.
Those aren't hints. Why don't you give some real hints?
That was a hint.
Here are a couple of hints. It's by a director